to Greece.
Where's it from?
I don't know, the boys took it off.
We took it off.
It's from Ukraine.
So, plane tickets? Ooh, a hat I can wear in Greece.
It's not a hat.
It's not.
Oh, my egg apron!
Eggs in it.
Great, they can gather eggs.
So cute. It's really cute. It's a cute one.
That's the best. You're welcome.
Thanks, honey.
Not for a long time. Welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard podcast. I'm your host Sharon, and my new special guest, Miss Nan. Hello, Miss Nan from TikTok. Hey,
So nice to be here. Thank you.
so nice to meet you. I'm so glad you're here, and I want to. That was Ballerina Farms. Hannah, I believe that's her name. Hannah, yeah, her name is Hannah. So we're opening up with the conversation around the trad wife trend. I'll say trad wife trend. So what were your thoughts when you saw that?
That those are not tickets to Greece. That, she evidently made her wishes known. And I mean, not only is it not tickets to Greece, it's far removed. I mean, that doesn't look like a particularly thoughtful gift. But and he and I think you and I had discussed it earlier, how he said you're welcome before she ever said thank you.
The
So it
look
was,
on her face.
yeah, the video was a little off-putting to me for sure.
Mind you, that is, the only reason I know about that lady and her predicament. Well, I can't even say predicament because she's married to a billionaire. Let's pull this up here. Here and there she's had articles and everything written about her in the New York Times. This article is from the New York Times opinion or something. But meet the queen of the trad wives and her 8 children. The people that are rallying around her saying, "Oh, poor lady," and I feel so bad for her. Um, that may be she may be having a situation, but she looks pretty privileged to me. And I saw this after Sonia Massey was executed by police in Chicago.
Yeah, vast difference in those two situations, right? And I've seen just today looking up online probably at least 5 or 6 different articles about Hannah and the Ballerina farm. Um, it seems like our media is so skewed right now. And it feels like, we're fighting Project 2025. We're fighting the GOP's war on women, as far as I'm concerned. And so it used to be that being a traditional wife was a choice, right? You had a choice to be a traditional wife, stay at home, have children, or you had a choice to be a wife and a mother and have a job and have a career, or you had a choice to be single. But it seems like now the GOP doesn't want us to have that choice. They want us to push us more toward this narrative of stay at home and have children.
This is a definite agenda because even before, I mean, I'm going to scroll up here, and then for people that are listening and watching us, I will have this link to this article in the chat so you can read it for yourselves because it's pretty long. But I would just kind of wanted to scroll through here. Um, this looks like, from the backstory that I know of, she went to Juilliard. and she got accepted. Mind you, in the time that she got accepted, only 12 people got accepted. So she was one of the 12. So that's very prestigious.
Very.
And this young man is an heir to an airline, JetBlue, I believe it is. Yeah, let's see. I think it's JetBlue. Yes. So he's an heir to JetBlue, although his worth himself is 6 million. But
Mhm.
family wise, I don't know what the worth is because they own an airline, and they are on a 328-acre farm,
Mhm.
and she does content surrounding nostalgic chic. Nostalgic chic, this trad wife stuff is very expensive. The old looking stoves and the Cuisinart cookware that she has. Cuisinart is like one of the most expensive brands of cookware there is around. Um, she looks conquered. Like, okay, this picture right here, and then the video of her with the apron. My first thought when I saw that video, egg apron, she puts it around her waist, where, she carries eggs that she's going to have more kids. And then uh, her husband named it Ballerina Farm. Okay, that sounds to me like he's farming a ballerina.
Yeah. Yeah. It um it's obviously a choice that she's making, but um I always say that sometimes you have to break out of your raising. So I'm going to assume that she was probably raised to maybe take a back seat and not always pursue what she wants. Because Juilliard, that's a huge accomplishment. Um, but
She's
it's going
Mormon. They're
to,
Mormon.
yeah, and it's going to be up to her to break that cycle, or whether or not she teaches that same tradition to her daughters or not. But it's going to be up to her to break it for sure. Um, with 8 kids, that might be a little challenging.
These, well, quick. These pictures look like propaganda to me, considering like we brought up Project 2025, the agenda that JD Vance, and Trump and the GOP want women seen and not heard. In 2024, right? They're trying to this trad wife trend is that looks like propaganda to me because she is making content to look appealing to the women that they're trying to take their rights away from.
Yeah, there could be some debate about that, I'm sure, because traditional wives have been around forever because that's how we have all been taught. That's the role we were all taught to do for the most part. So the fact that it's sort of now being glamorized, yeah, it could definitely be part of the media push, at least. To
Well,
to
yeah, because that in this economy, a traditional wife, that there's still some out there that want to be that. She's married to a billionaire.
Yeah, most people in this day and time can't afford to not have two income households and raise children.
Mhm.
Very difficult.
So they're what with this that they're pushing out. This woman, friendly reminder to people, women considering it. I'm not one to ever tell a woman what to do. I have
Yeah.
2 girls myself. I've always given them suggestions and my
Mm.
opinions. In my opinion, think about it. Think about, well, no, you know what? I'm not even giving any advice about pursuing or being in a relationship like that because
Mhm.
because regardless of the bank account, it's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only you know what's right for you. But this lady is married to a billionaire. Just
Yeah.
food for thought.
That's the whole point for me is it just should be a choice. You should be
Hmm.
able to choose what role you want to have in life as a woman, and it shouldn't be forced on you. And I'm afraid that the GOP has an actual war on women, and that they are pushing Project 2025, which, has a lot of direct impacts on women and their bodily autonomy and their rights as women. It almost feels like they want to take us back to a time when women were property and could not live independently if that was their choice.
And that's basically, I mean, marriage in a nutshell because of the contract. Although, like you said, this day and age is different. It's choice. You want to get married, you don't want to get married. And then how you and your husband or your mate, consider what your relationship is. Marriage basically started off as a contract, as property. The woman was property. And I'm leaving this picture up for just a few minutes because this is food for thought, too, ladies. This is what she, this was her goal. She was at Juilliard.
Yeah,
Juilliard, one
but
of 12 people. And she just,
yeah, somewhere along the line, she made a different decision for sure. But like Project 2025 even wants to take out any gender equality, gender equity language from all federal regulations. That's directly aimed at women, right?
Mhm.
And so, what better way, I guess, to get people on board uh, than to sort of glamorize, hey, this would be great for women to just not have a choice, um, and to be just happy homemaker.
This week just a little.
Well, speaking of which, I'm going to play another uh, trad wife influencer, which, a lot of people are talking about, and she's been trending for months. Her name is Nara Smith. She's a trad wife as well. She's a Mormon as well. She's married to a rich, man, and she's a model. But in her case, there was controversy about her stealing from smaller content creators, like Onezwa, which is Onezwa. That'll be another, podcast when we have more time about that. But she does this trad wife content and trying to basically, it looks to me like it's propaganda to try to glamorize this kind of life because of the GOP and their war on women and where they're trying to take women back to this country. So I'm going to just play this video and we'll talk on the other side of this video. I don't know how to start it from the beginning, but well, what it, I don't know if it's I hope it's not copyright. Let's see.
And also some savory options. These are the breakfast items I prepped to make this week just a little bit easier. I started off by making some bagels. I doubled the batch today and let my dough rise in the morning before forming it, boiling it, and then topping it with some smoky salt and some other things before popping that in the oven. While those were baking, I made some applesauce. I like using a variety of apples for this. I also decided to use some strawberries this time around to make an apple strawberry sauce. I boiled everything until it was soft before blending it up. By this time my bagels were done baking, so I placed them on a wire rack to cool while I started on making some waffles. These are dairy-free and gluten-free. I started making these when I was struggling with eczema, and now they're just a staple in our house because they're so good and I don't like any other waffles anymore. To go alongside that, I made a blueberry compote and put that away, and then moved on to making some pickled onions and jalapenos. I finally sliced those before adding my vinegar mixture and some chili flakes, and then moving on to making my savory breakfast option, which was breakfast sausage with broccolini and some fried breakfast potatoes. I also decided to make some pico to go alongside that, and then it was time to put everything away, so I put my sausage away, my potatoes. I let those cool without the lid on at first. And that's all the prep I did for this week. I had some sweet options and also some savory options. These are the breakfast items I prepped.
What are your thoughts about that? What did you notice about that video?
Well, I do love the cooking videos. on TikTok. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't follow this creator, so I'm not real familiar with her. I did. She has a very common and soft voice. I did notice that, and I got to tell you, even if I were a non-working stay-at-home wife, I would probably not do
Well, and then okay,
that complex of a cooking routine.
but you know, when you really think about it, especially with this economy, it's expensive to do the
Oh,
so-called from scratch, the so-called from scratch, because
mhm,
those ingredients are very pricey.
exactly.
And then a lot of her cookware is like, you know, what we said earlier, that this is that nostalgic chic. You
Hmm.
know, nostalgic chic is expensive. The
Yeah,
clothes, the cookware, the average person cannot afford that Cuisinart cookware. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
thousands and thousands of dollars worth of cookware, like one pot for $600 or something like that. Like, and then this is her husband. This is expensive. She also, what I found out is, besides her allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want any lawyers and stuff contacting me. Allegedly taking from small creators. Um, she has a team. I was made aware she has a team that helps her get the prep together. So basically, they're doing all that. So she gets dressed up. She has somebody doing her hair, you know, and then she's able to film the videos. And then she has like 4 or 5 kids herself. She
Mm.
has a nanny, you know, the that they're watching the kids while she's making these, you know, dishes and things like that. And that takes money.
Yeah, you mentioned that both the ladies that you've shown have been married to very wealthy people, and that's a different scenario, I think, than many women would face if they chose to be traditional wives.
Well, they're taking advantage of the women that right now in this moment have low self-esteem, because first off, there's a loneliness epidemic, more so with men. This economy, the reason there's a loneliness epidemic is because nobody can afford to pay attention, let alone go out on a date. You can't afford to go out on a date because you're working 2 or 3 jobs,
Mm,
because the rent has gone up, the groceries have gone up. You know, the school, some of the school loans didn't get taken care of. Some of them did, but not all of them got taken care of. So these people, the women and men right now can't afford to date.
yeah,
So now they're uh, the the some of the media are pushing this kind. There's an agenda behind this trad wife stuff.
oh yeah, there very well could be, considering what the Republican agenda is and where they want to take us back to. Because, it was just in the 70s that women, I think, were allowed to have bank accounts and credit cards and start becoming financially independent. The biggest concern for me is not that trad wives exist, but whether or not we're going to have a choice in the future
Hmm.
of what we do with our lives. And so that's where the fear comes in for me, just looking at Project 2025 and how they want to pretty much control what women do going forward. Yeah.
And I am not the type, you know, although I'm not in the position of you know, farm my eggs, you know, being farmed. My kids are grown. I got 4 grown. They're all grown. I'm done with that. But there's still other ways that Project 2025 affect women of my age. I'm Gen X, you know, women in our age and everything. So we're all still going to be very much affected, because um, I saw some clips of the what was it, the handmaid's tale. Okay, so the fact that I don't have eggs that can be farmed because I took precautions, the snip and the clip, they'll still try to put me in a position in the kitchen of cooking
Yeah.
that supposed gluten-free expensive food for them. I'm not doing
Well, I mean, the signs are all around us. Really, they overturned Roe v. Wade. They have voted against contraceptive access. I mean, just something as basic as contraceptive access. And now you see not only governments but companies as well removing DEI. They're
Hmm.
just setting it up for white males, in my opinion, and the
Hmm.
rest of follow suit in whatever we're told to do. And that seems extreme, but not when you listen to not when you listen to the politicians
Hmm.
like like JD Vance and like Trump and
And mind you, this is our call to action.
yeah.
Um, we've seen great call to action since the announcement that Biden, uh, passed the torch to Kamala Harris. No matter how you feel about that situation, because I'm one in as well that have questions and that is troubled by certain things. But if we lose all rights, I mean, to vote, you know. Mango Mussolini announced the other night that if he was installed again, that
Hmm.
that was going to be the last time. He's like, Christians, I'm not even a Christian, but still vote for me. And after this vote, it's gonna be fixed to where we don't have to have any more votes anymore. So
Vote again was his, yeah, that was his words. Yeah.
mhm. And so the calls from the black women, that was very impressive. I sat in on the call with the South Asian women for Kamala. There have
Okay.
been white men for Kamala, and my late husband's birthday is tomorrow. He was a white man. We were together 20 years. He's a white man for Kamala from the grave or from his box. On my bookshelf. He's
Uh,
in the box on my bookshelf. So he's a white man from Kamala.
they they are having a white man call tomorrow.
Mhm.
And they say that Pete Buttigieg is going to be in the call.
Okay.
I've been reposting that, and they're also having another woman's call tomorrow. I mean, there's so many calls. I saw today where Native Americans were
Mm.
having a
Yep. Yep. Latinos have had a call.
her
Uh,
momentum,
yep.
right? But we can't lose the momentum, right? And we
Right.
can't
Right.
assume that she's going to win. We have to go vote. We have to make sure it happens.
So yes, our call to action: follow us on TikTok. I'm Tragedy Ann on TikTok and Nan Blue K Valentine on TikTok, and also like, share, subscribe the broadcast. Leave us a comment. Here is our Q&A section here. So we'll have here's the number here on the ticker. If you have a question for us, if you have a comment for us, leave it on the voicemail. We'll play your voicemail in a future broadcast. And like again, like, share, comment, set your notifications on, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. And we are going to do another broadcast. I'm going to do another broadcast here with my friend Nan, Miss Nan. I enjoyed this so much with you. Thank you for joining me.
And we have to get out there and vote for Miss Kamala. We have to do it. And then when she does take office, as I'm sure she's going to, we can't expect her to work miracles in 4 years. We have to give her a Democrat Congress, or else her hands are tied. You know, we have to give a Democrat Congress, vote blue up and down the ticket.
And that means we can't just vote and then relax for 4 years. That means vote and continue the
To fight.
groundwork.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
I saw one TikTok I'm going to share with you, and the man said, it was a man speaking, and he said, the thought of a our first female black president is incredible. He said, but just think about this thought. Just think that maybe Joe Biden was our last male president.
I mean, the men, specifically white men, have been screwing up this country since 1492.
They've had their turn. I'll say that they've had their turn. I think it's time.
I mean, that's just a historical fact. That's part of history that they don't talk about, but it's still in the books, although they're trying to erase everybody else's
Trying
existence
to,
and
yeah,
history.
they're trying to erase it. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not going back. That's
No,
what she said the other night. We're not going back.
not going back, not without a big old fight.
Nope. So join us on the next broadcast so we can go forward on our next broadcast and like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Thank
You.
you, Miss Nan.
Bye.